Hey y'all, for those of you that don't know me, my name is Lucretia, and what I do is help families organize what matters most in terms of creating an emergency plan, also known as end of life planning, but people freak out when you say end of life, so I keep it simple by saying emergency plan. And everybody needs one. I don't care if you're okay, your spouse is okay, your parents are doing really well, and they watch the kids on the weekend. Guess what? That's the best time to put a plan in place because everybody is in a peaceful state and they can answer questions in a rational mindset. So listen, today is an anniversary for my spouse and I. It is 2 years of being married. We've known each other for 5. I believe it's 5. It's gone by so quick. He has a child that's prior to our marriage, as do I, and then we have a baby girl together. And I'm going to tell you, you want to talk about life change. Within the first 2 years, I went from 1 to 3 kids, and I had to do a serious adjustment. And that's in terms of like creating meals, creating like life plans, and all that other stuff. So, something that we talk about quite often is how we can grow together. And part of that is talking about our life insurance. Part of that is talking about if something happened to one of us, what we would want the other person to do for the children. So a couple of things that we talked about that we actually find pretty hilarious is leaving notes for each other. So like my husband never understood how serious it is for a Black woman in her hair. And so I'm always talking to him about like, hey, if anything ever happened to me, if I'm just in the hospital, one, you do not let these girls go out the house with their hair not combed. Okay. And so when I said that to him, he was like, okay. And then it dawned on me, I was like, he probably doesn't know what that means because his daughter has straight blonde hair and, they just comb it and that's it. With a Black person, it's very different. You've got to wash it, condition it, comb it out. You know what I mean? Like there's all these steps to it. And so he told me, he's like, seriously, it takes 3 hours to do your hair. And I just don't know if I can do it. So like, that's something that we talked about. Now, just imagine if it was something that we didn't talk about, he would let our baby girl who has mixed curly hair, it's soft, but it's still curly and bushy. He'd let her go out the house looking crazy. And to him, he'd think as long as she's dressed okay, she's fine. And then if I seen her, I'd immediately be like, oh my God, why does she look like that? As a mom would. So a lot of times we as parents and or a spouse, we think the other person in the household understands what we would want to have done. But if you've never communicated that, then you can't make that assumption. It's really important to talk about the details, and that's including kids, that's including bills, work schedules, what ifs. It's a big deal, and you don't want to wait until something happens to be finding yourself asking these questions when they're not in like the best state of mind. So if you're a person, you don't know which questions you should ask, I created a book. It's called Questions Now or Regrets Later. I went through a situation of having to plan an unexpected funeral, but this is not just for funeral, but this is also like for, medical situations or an unexpected illness. Somebody has to be put into a home or they've gotten a car accident and they're in a coma. What do they want to have done? And there's always a sense of guilt if you don't know exactly what they want to do because you're like, oh my gosh, I wish I had asked this question. Well, guess what? Now you can ask the right questions to the best of your ability, and then you can have some solid answers. So click the link down below. The website is www.notyourtypicalplanner.com. This is an investment of your time and your energy, and these are really good conversation starters for you, for your family, and for anybody that you think could use something like this, because there's nothing worse than having something happen and you're reacting instead of responding. So again, my name is Lucretia. I help families organize what matters most in terms of creating an emergency plan, also known as end of life planning, however you want to look at that, because people really do freak out when you say end of life. But you want to do what's right for your family, and the best time to do that is to do it before there's a situation happening. As I like to say, you want to plan for the best and prepare for the worst. So I want to thank you for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.